What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Creators Corner, where we give you a glimpse behind the magical content. I'm Anthony, and today we have one of my favorite groups of vloggers, favorite couple vloggers, and that's because I have a passion for food. I love food more than anything in the world, and these people are my go-to food vloggers. It's Sam and Jay. It's the Theme Park Foodies. What's up, guys?
Hi.
What an introduction. Thank you. That's very flattering.
It's very flattering.
I'm blushing.
I feel very nervous.
It's nothing that I haven't DM'd you guys before. Like, every time you guys put a vlog out and you like Topolino's, I'm like, these are my people. And then you just said, we were talking before the show, and you said cheeseburger spring rolls, like at the same time as me. We are one and the same in that. But how are you guys doing today?
We're great.
We're good. We worked. We're tired.
The corn dog stand opened at the boardwalk, but we were at work, so we're going to be late to the game. There's probably already like 50 videos on it.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
this weekend.
The prices are a little crazy, right? They're like $16.
Oh my gosh.
I expect that at Disney. Like, I expect everything's $20 at Disney now. So anytime it's less than $20, like, oh, this water bottle is $5.
Yeah, you just set that high. You know, set it high so you're not disappointed, you know?
Yeah. Everything's expensive there. That's the thing.
That's the funny thing. We're talking about the bread pudding, and like I think that's like $7 or $8. And I was like, this is like the best buy in Disney because we could share this and it's only like $7, you know?
Yeah.
But that's
especially now if they're on a budget.
Yeah, exactly. You have to fit within the budget too. That's why like at Food and Wine Festival, we get the little wristband and we put like $150 on it, and then when we're done, we're done.
Smart.
Yeah. We used to buy like the Disney gift cards at Target because you can get the 5% discount, and we would use that as our food and wine money.
That's
now we try not to think about money. We just, it's for the channel.
Yeah, I mean, we have an idea of how much things are going to cost too, because we break down before we film the videos what we're probably going to eat, and we see how much each thing costs. We know how much we're going to spend.
That's actually a really good idea. We do like we used to. I don't know why we don't anymore. We go to like Sam's Club and get the $500 gift card for.
We've done that before.
$450.
Yeah,
we did that to like pay for our trips before the Sam's Club.
Because you can pay for your trips that way too.
Yeah,
you can buy a bunch of them.
Yeah, and then you like go on the website and just combine it all in one discard or one gift card. The funny thing is, you just said it's for the channel, and that's like I just surprised Nicole, my wife, with Disneyland. We've never been, but I'm like, you know what? We can vlog there. Like, it's like an excuse.
We're excited for you. Disneyland's our favorite park.
I know, and she was watching your video last night when I was working about like the food there, and she's like, we only trust them, so I got to look at their vlogs and then read what they like. So we're gonna try some stuff. I do want to try Bengal barbecue because we made that at home when we were doing the cooking show, and it was even good. And I'm not a good cook.
It tastes fresh, and it doesn't taste like street side carnival food, which I think is the majority of theme park food that you have. You think of kind of like this. Like garbage comfort food, which I like. I like garbage comfort food. But to go to a theme park and to get asparagus that was fresh cooked on a grill, or like chicken,
bacon,
with like a little lime and bacon, like something you feel like you could have at home. And then also you're in like an immersive environment. I just think it adds to the overall experience, and it makes it feel so much more refined.
Yeah.
Especially.
Well, I have an unpopular opinion all the time, and I always get made fun of. Like, I'm a turkey leg guy. So Disneyland has a buffalo turkey leg. So I saw it in a Mara video. I hopefully they still have it because like that's all my mind has went to since we booked it. I'm like, buffalo turkey leg? That sounds amazing. Yeah,
I have a turkey leg every now and then. It's like a bi-yearly treat for me, the turkey leg. It's a guilty pleasure, of course. It's not my go-to, but I understand the enjoyment of it because it's like a giant piece of beef jerky, like tender beef jerky.
So when we go with our family, there's 4 of us. It's me, my wife, 2 girls, and it's like, all right, everyone just dig in for $15 and like fill yourself up with meat. But the problem is it's so hot sometimes, it's sticky. And I'm like, all right, it needs to be the right, like the right weather. Like we just went in August, and Nicole's like, "You're not getting a turkey leg?" I'm like, "No, like that turkey like sweating worse than I am. I'm not touching that, But before we get really into the Disney conversation, I always like to start with a little icebreaker and talk about what other interests you guys have. So besides Disney World, what other interests do you guys have? I know it's hard being Disney people because like that's kind of becomes your personality. But besides that, what do you guys enjoy?
You go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, well, I mean, the channel takes up a lot of our time now, but before the channel, I actually had a baking business called Sammy Sweets.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, I did it for like 5 or 6 years, I want to say. So I used to be really into baking. I'm also really into Taylor Swift.
Same.
But I know, and I was watching one of your vlogs. It was like a New Jersey vlog, and I saw your daughter, like you were about to walk into a store,
Yeah.
and I guess there was something Taylor Swift, and she was like Taylor Swift, and I was like, that's me.
Got the friendship bracelet. I'm good.
But now, like, I feel like the channel is
It takes up all of our free time
Yeah.
because you work, and then it's like to each of our videos will take like 4 to 6 hours to edit.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and then, like, I guess now my passion is learning how to edit and making reels and doing social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, we enjoy I mean, it can be hard, obviously. Yes. You don't enjoy every aspect, but like the overall end result of it is an appreciation for your creative outlet and what you produce. You know, so yeah, the vlog takes up a lot of our time. I would want to bring up something like I was thinking about saying like, oh, I like Star Wars or I like film, or I like theater. But I think all those things are Disney.
Yeah.
You know, like if I go see a play, it's going to be Frozen on Broadway. You know, like I did used to pro wrestle.
Yeah.
When I was younger. I was trained by Mikey Whipwreck from ECW.
Yep.
So I wrestled for a company called NYWC. I worked for a bunch of independent companies throughout the East Coast, but that was the main place I wrestled. That was New York Wrestling Connection.
And that's actually how we connected, because we have a mutual friend in the wrestling business, as people know that watch this show. Chrissy, shout out to Chrissy, the best. I used to do wrestling podcasts, so I, had a lot of connections in wrestling. Went to a lot of indie shows, went to WrestleManias. Was actually on media for the first All In, and as I'm recording this is All In weekend right now, so it's pretty cool as a wrestling fan that we were one of like 7 podcasts on All In Row for 10,000 people, and they just had like 65,000 people in an arena in England this weekend. So watching that grow has been pretty cool to know that we had a small, tiny, maybe non-factor part of it, but I guess we were there, so it was awesome.
Very cool, man. You should be very proud of that accomplishment.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then, like you said, you had the perfect like explanation. Like wrestling's like carnival, theater, and so are theme parks. So you said it to me. I want you to explain it because it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, well, if you look at the history of pro wrestling and you look at the history of theme parks, they all are both kind of centered around like this carnival form or carnival-esque entertainment. Pro wrestling in particular was an attraction that you'd experience when you go to a carnival. They would have some type of like, big strongman. The big one was George Hackenschmidt. He was like the first NWA world champion. And he would travel around all the local carnivals and stuff. And then you would, George Hackenschmidt's going to be in town. So you would go to the local carnival to see him, wrestle. Everyone, I mean, it was mostly real then, but somewhat performance as well. It's questionable how real it was. But I think both of them, when you look at Disney, what Disney did is they took the carnival aspect of like the rides, the atmosphere, the entertainment, or just theme parks in general, and they elevated it, making it an all-encompassing, immersive form of entertainment where you're constantly being told a story throughout your movements, through everything that you do when you interact with the cast members or the employees that work there, or you go on a ride and you get to experience the atmosphere and the ambiance of a story maybe you saw on Disney, or something unique like the Haunted Mansion where it's mostly atmosphere. And if you look at pro wrestling, they took that one form of entertainment that used to be found in carnivals and they turned that in and of itself into a traveling carnival. What do the big companies do? They travel around the US, and when you go to a pro wrestling show, you're watching theater on the round. So it's like theme parks, but in the inverse. Rather than walking through, you are part of the atmosphere, and you then engage with the show and become part of the story.
That blows my mind because I never really even like pieced that together. But it's funny because like last weekend was a huge weekend for Disney, right? So people are like, "Why are you so excited for like the D23? Like, what is it?" I'm like, "It is the WrestleMania of Disney. Like you wait all year for this show because it is the end of the story or the beginning of a new story." And that is like, we got Villain's Land. So it was like the end of the blue sky, but now it's beginning the Villain's Land. So let's talk about that. What are your guys' thoughts on Villain's Land, and what kind of snacks do you think would be there? Because they said a restaurant or some food, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder if they would have like a character dining with villains.
Yes.
I think that would be great.
Oh man, I miss HHN character dining at Universal.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Awesome. I would love a character dining meal. I would also, if you're talking specific treats, a dark chocolate mousse.
Ooh.
Right? Like a dark, like think of that. Like how they have like the gray stuff, make it the black stuff.
Yes. Well, I mean, they kind of have an idea with, the menu this year for Not So Scary is crazy with all the new snacks. So I guess a lot of it can kind of spooky and fit in there.
Yeah, they have their chefs are hard at work, I'm sure, coming up with things, and they had a lot of like good sweets this year. I feel like the savory stuff, the best savory stuff is out during the day. Like you didn't need the park ticket. I feel like to get that.
Yeah, we were watching because we're going September 20th, so. 1 month from now, we'll be at the Halloween party. And again, like I said, you guys give the food opinion. We usually follow it. Because my wife, like we went with the kids last year, and that's tough. That's a tough, like, okay, let's get this snack. Let's get this snack. Because they don't want that snack. So then you end up just getting like Friars Nook hot dogs instead. But there are so many crazy snacks there, but I think that would kind of fit in the Villain's Land. Like I think, honestly, obviously, Gaston's would be perfect in Villain's Land, but it is where it is now, and that's beautiful. But you could do something like that, maybe like a quick service. I'm trying to think of like a villain that can kind of have their own, little quick service, right? That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Ursula Seafood.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ursula Seafood. Yeah, she would be killing fish, so it would make sense.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, she's a villain.
So when did you guys become fans of Disney? Was it just something that you were like, you grew up in, or is it something that over time that you just developed a love for?
Great question. I'm going to because I think each of our answers are similar yet different. So I'm going to, Sam, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So, I grew up in the 90s. So I definitely grew up in that golden era of movies with Aladdin and Lion King. I always loved the movies. I only went to the parks once as a child, like when I was 5. We weren't like a Disney family. We didn't, and then I never went back. So it wasn't until later in life, 2017, I think, the first time, like when we started dating and we went together and then fell in love with the parks. Yep. And falling in love with the parks also made me fall back in love with all the movies, because now I want to stay on top of all the movies and are excited for the new ones.
Yeah. Similar story. I went twice when I was a kid. First time I went when I was 5 years old. I have one memory of my grandpa getting sick on the teacups. I went with my grandparents. My dad took me when I was 10 or 11, and I tell her this story all the time. He took my cousin with us. My cousin got an ear infection. I was stuck in the room. We stayed at the Polynesian. So I remember like seeing like the castle and stuff from the room, but we were stuck in there because he was sick. So I didn't really get to do much. Remember we had half day at Epcot. I remember being like taken aback by like the set dressing, yes. Like the kind of the atmosphere of the parks as a kid. But then obviously, I didn't go back until 2017 when Sam and I were together. And where we first stayed was Port Orleans French Quarter. And we almost didn't stay there, believe it or not, because we kind of were iffy about like the way it was set up. Like it's like a motel style with the outdoor doors.
Yep.
That's how most Disney hotels
we
are. We
almost switched, I think, to like
Caribbean Beach or something, which is the same thing.
But we stayed at French Quarter.
Yeah, and I love the French Quarter now because of it. And then like how she said, it was the atmosphere. It was the attention to detail in regards to the entertainment, how clean everything was. And I do want to bring up one other thing. When her and I first got together, we always talked about how when we were younger, we would talk to our former spouses or friends and
spouses.
Not spouses, but like girlfriends, boyfriends, exes.
This is becoming Maury right now. Stuff's about to break here.
We would say we'd want to go to like Six Flags.
Yeah.
We always wanted to go. I never went to Six Flags Great Adventure. She used to go.
Yeah, I grew up going to Jersey.
Yeah, and when we both got together, we're like, oh yeah, let's go to Six Flags. Let's go to Hershey Park. Let's go to Disney. And like, it was almost like one of the things that made us click is how much we wanted to go to these places. you know.
And
That-
eat food. We
Yeah.
both are always like
Food
talking
centric.
about food. So
Yeah.
That's how Italians are. We just want to eat all the time. Like I'm
Yeah.
thinking about like, oh, what's going to be a snack when I'm editing this tonight? You know what I mean?
Yeah. After dinner the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And the only thing my wife and I fight over is food. Like, like we get hangry and it's like, what's for dinner? I don't know. You pick. No, I don't want to
Oh my
pick.
God.
But that's amazing though that it came later in life, right? Because we kind of have the same story with that, right? I went when I was a kid. Nicole's mother unfortunately couldn't afford to take her as a kid, so we went when my niece turned 4 and she fell in love with it. Then when we had our kids, we took them and it just became your DNA. And like you said best, like you fall in love with Disney and then you want to keep up with stuff, Sam, right? We fell in love with Disney, but then we also fell in love with the world around Disney, which you guys do a great job showcasing. The lounges, the restaurants. There is so much around Disney that people just think, oh, you're going to the park again? Oh, you're going to this again? There is so much more to Disney World. And I think you guys have helped us find stuff. Unfortunately, we didn't go to Ravello last time because the rain was insane when we were. We just ate at Topolino's because we were at the Riviera. But like, I would have never even knew the Four Seasons had an Italian restaurant. So thank you for that.
That's not Disney property, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Our
definitely.
opinion.
I that's one thing I'll stand by. Like I get nervous about like saying something is amazing, but this Ravello, I will fight anyone who doesn't think that it's the best.
There was another place too. Is it called Milan? Is Milano?
Il Molino?
El Molino.
We like El Molino. That was, I feel like, the most New York-esque Italian food.
Yeah.
Like you get, if you watched our videos, you know that I'm very into bread service.
Yes, you
I
are.
feel like if I'm paying a premium, give me the freebie.
And they didn't have
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I'm going to Disney World and I know I'm going to spend at least $150 on this meal, just give me some bread. Like,
Yeah.
You know?
Well, my thing is, I'm always like, if you're gonna give me bread too, give me something to dip it in. Where's the oil? I need my hand needs to be doing this.
Especially the Italian restaurants.
Topolino's olive oil is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
I
great
love
flavor.
that olive oil. I was like looking at the bottle. I was like trying to find it online. The shipping's very expensive though, so they import it.
Oh, did they import that?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So good.
It's honestly Topolino's. I know I'm sure we'll keep talking about it because I think is that still your number one?
Yeah, we did a top 5
Yep,
and then we ate all the 5, so it's 5 different videos in a playlist that we have. And Topolino's was our number 1.
Because Narcoossee's came close.
Narcoossee's was 2.
Yeah, because
Topolino's, I think a lot of it has to do with the service there.
Yes,
it's amazing.
We just released a vlog and our bartender was so good. We said, "Can we just eat here?" Because like I wasn't going to get service the service was immaculate. So I was like,
they know the menu inside and out. They can tell you where each of like the items are sourced from, the flavor profile of what you're ordering. It's like a level. It feels high end when you're eating there. Narcoossee's was great. Like I don't want to down any service. Service at all of our top 5 was amazing. The thing with Narcoossee's, like it just wasn't like the guy wasn't telling me this comes from the southern port of Sicily. My
Narcoossee's, I didn't like the sauce on the filet. I'm a big filet guy. I didn't like the sauce on it. I still think the best steak in Disney is the strip steak from Flying Fish.
Oh
it's unreal. But like we went to Le Cellier, and of course it's kind of cheating because I got the enhancement. I got the Oscar. So I got the filet Oscar. And that and Topolino's is just battling for the best filet. But strip steak wise, like I tell everyone, like a coworker last night, it's like, oh, I'm going to Disney. I'm like, go to Flying Fish and get the strip steak. It's life changing.
I'm disappointed they didn't. Flying Fish would have been 2 if they still had the Cocoa Breach.
Oh yeah.
You ever had the Cocoa Breach?
I've never had it.
You won't because they took it off.
They took it when they reopened, right? They took it off, right?
No, they took it off a few months ago.
Oh,
so
really?
We had it in a video like a year ago, and we went back to do the top 5 video, and it wasn't there anymore. And that was probably my favorite dessert in all of Disney, right? All the Disney restaurants. And they pour like this. It's a lava cake, but they use like Valharona, I think it is. No, I don't quote me on that. But they pour like it on the inside, on the top of like a chocolate thing. And they call it a breach because the hot chocolate melts through and into the cake as they pour it on top. Yeah, it's really good.
See that? Yeah, that would have
It
won.
was really
That would
good.
have been number one just from the explanation because
Yeah.
their fillet was really good too. I don't want to down their fillet, but I never in my life have I had a fillet and I took a bite of Nicole doesn't like fillet. She likes ribeye. She likes strip, and I'm usually like, I made the right decision. I made the right decision. I took a bite of hers and I went. I ended up eating half of it. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe. Like I can't stop eating this. I'm about to order another one. So anyone listening, flying fish. Do you think, and I'll start this with Jay, like, do you think you guys had like anything in the background, like your wrestling days or Sam's baking days that made you want to create, like help you create and start this channel? Like, is that something, to push you to create? Like, I need that in my life.
100%. So one of the big reasons the channel started was we got married in 2020 and the pandemic happened. So we got married in February 2020 and we both were furloughed by the end of February. So like we got married literally, we came home from our honeymoon a week before everything shut down.
Yeah, we got married in Disney.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had our wedding because everything shut down.
Yeah, and I was still wrestling actively at the time, but I did one show at the end of February, and then there, no one was out wrestling or anything. I mean, if you were an independent wrestler, at least if you were contracted on TV, obviously those guys had work. But I was, that was a creative outlet for me more than anything. At that point, I wasn't making a living off of it, but I know that like internally, I needed a creative. Like I think every person has an inherent desire to create art. And not having that and knowing that we were just kind of like in this limbo period and watching vlogs a lot too. Watching a lot of, like the smaller at that time actually, but like now bigger Disney channels around 2020. And then just saying like, hey, like things are going to open up. Let's document it.
That's awesome.
So we were big Hershey Park fans. And I think there was a few reasons for us wanting to start the channel. I said to Sam I wanted to do it.
You wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah.
Even before the pandemic.
She surprised me with a logo, which was more of like, because we had an Instagram at the time called Jay and Sam's Adventures. Yeah. And it was just a fun Instagram where we each have personal Instagrams, but it was a joint one where it was just us traveling and posting our travel photos. But the majority of it was theme parks, and the majority of it was us eating at theme parks. Yeah. We're making food at home. So then I just, I came up with the idea, like if we're going to do a YouTube channel, I want to kind of focus in on a particular niche that one, I can enjoy, and two, I know I can create consistent content off of. Yeah. So that's when she gave me the logo. I came up with like Theme Park Foodies.
That's awesome.
As like the name of the channel. And I figure we just go and like, we used to watch a lot of Good Mythical Morning. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of their very big YouTube channel, not theme park based.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They rate foods 1 out of 10, but they'll rate like Hostess, all the Hostess foods 1 out of 10, and all the Dorito flavors 1 out of 10. So I was like, why don't we just rate the theme park food 1 out of 10? Because we were fans of them. Like it kind of like took a 2-pronged approach of like, okay, it's food focused. We're gonna do a rating system, but we're gonna have fun with it. Like it's not gonna be like, I always say this to people too, like a 10 is a personal thing. Our numbers are like each person has a different flavor profile, things that they enjoy. Yeah. There are bad foods. There are really good foods, but a lot of it is based off of personal opinion. Something can be average if you don't enjoy that particular flavor. Anyway, I think I went off on a tangent there. But the pandemic happened, and Hershey Park we went to a lot. There weren't really any vlogs on Hershey Park. Mm-hmm. And Hershey Park had a whole resort complex. So the Hotel Hershey, the only tours of the Hotel Hershey that we were able to find were like very short 5-minute videos of like home videos that like a family made when they went on a trip. Yeah. And they threw them on YouTube. And those things have pretty decent views because they were the only thing out there for it. And I said to Sam, like the Hotel Hershey was opening back up. They couldn't get anyone to go. And that rooms there are usually like $600, $700. Yeah. They were like $250, $300.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, why don't we go and I'll do a tour of the Hotel Hershey and we'll show all the COVID-19 measures that because it was just when they were just reopening, like we didn't have any kids. Mm-hmm. We were furloughed from our jobs. And so we bought a GoPro, which I wouldn't, like I look at the videos now and I cringe because we didn't know how to edit then. And we went and we filmed the opening of Hershey Park, the Hotel Hershey. We did another hotel, I think a week later down the road over there.
Yeah, our first video was Courtyard by Marriott.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we did split stay. Yeah. So we did the Courtyard by Marriott. That was our first video of, and then we did the Hotel Hershey. And the Hotel Hershey's, I think, still our second or third biggest video. So probably our third biggest video now, but it's not good. Don't watch it.
No, you need to watch it. I always tell creators too, like that's important. You know where you came from, because like my wrestling show was called like Rant with Ant, right? Yeah, I was like, I watched the first one and I'm like, oh man, like people tuned into this. And then one of the last ones we did, we had a gala of like our Patreons and stuff. We had like 60 people. We did a live show overlooking New York for WrestleMania 35, and I'm like, whoa, like. From then to then, I was like, wow. But even our first vlog, I watch our first vlog where we do food and wine, and that was just a year ago. And I've done content before, and I'm like, oh, man, that was terrible. What was I doing?
You learn as you go. You know, like for us, it was just a shoot and go thing because I didn't know where to start. Like I looked up things online and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, and I had the same philosophy with wrestling too. Like I think a lot of pro wrestlers would say they watched their first match and like, geez, how could I? It's so bad. And when I used to look at my first matches, that I thought so. I always say like have a willingness to be bad at something because you need to be bad at something generally to start to get good at it.
100%.
To even be okay at it, you have to be bad at it.
100%. I agree with that totally. So Sam, with your baking creativity, because cooking and baking takes a lot of creativity, a lot of skill. Did you have like a hunger for more? Not to be punny, but did you want to envision yourself like, hey, I want to do this too, like, or it was a kind of, you were good doing what you were doing?
So as far as the channel, before the pandemic, I wasn't interested in doing the channel because I was like, one, neither of us know how to film, edit. We don't have time to learn these things. Like, no way. Also, I'm pretty shy. So I was like, I don't want to be on camera. And, people are not nice on the internet sometimes and can leave comments. I was like, I'm not putting myself out there. But then during the pandemic, I also had a lot of personal stuff happen before the pandemic. I lost my mom in January, and then I lost my job, and then I lost my dad, all within a 6-month. It was, I don't want to cry, but it was tough. So I kind of just lost everything that was like familiar to me.
Yeah.
I didn't have my coworkers. I didn't have my parents. Then Jay actually went back to work and I was still home trying to find a job during the pandemic. And I like desperately needed to do something to like provide. I was like going to go sink into a black hole.
Yeah.
So I was like, I used, I think Windows Movie Maker, whatever program was on my laptop.
Yeah.
I used, and I was like, all right, we got the camera and I was like, we're doing it.
We don't use Windows Movie Maker anymore.
What do you guys use now?
Filmora.
Okay, I use Premiere Pro.
I feel like a lot of people use that.
We started with Filmora, so we know that tool, so we keep using it. But both are great platforms.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out because Premiere Pro is like I'm not that great, and like I think they shot like the first season of The Bear and edited it using it Premiere Pro. Yeah. So I'm like,
it's very in depth.
I'm like, yeah.
Filmora is, I think, a bit more user friendly, probably.
Yeah.
Like interface.
Yeah, I like the tools that they have, and then so I just, I was home and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to edit, and I would just literally YouTube like tutorials of how to do certain things, and I just threw myself into it. And now it's 4 years later somehow, and we're in Florida.
We actually both had a lot of loss. So I lost my not to get too in depth with it, but few years before the vlog, my grandfather, I lived with my grandfather more than I lived with both my parents.
Yeah.
He passed away. He had cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I watched it. Yeah. And then my mother passed away and passed away tragically in 2019. 2019 was the year before the wedding. Yeah. So we both had a lot of loss, and I think we both bonded a lot through that. And we both kind of needed something to help us. I don't want to say grow past it, but kind of to take that energy and to pour it into something that makes you feel better.
Yeah. You get lost in it. I lost my brother after a battle with cancer. He survived. He had it when he was 10, but he developed dementia and stuff like that. So he passed away 3 years ago, but like right after COVID. So that's what I did. I just put myself into I was Twitch streaming at the time, and I just put myself into that. And then actually that's kind of like I was about to give up, and I just said to Nicole, I'm like, hey, last ditch effort. Like, would you want to do Disney stuff? Because I'm tired of trying to create with people. Our schedules don't work. This doesn't work. You're in my house. I know your schedule. Your schedule's my schedule. Let's create. Like, let's do something. And, I think that's so important. And during COVID and those long days, right, where it just felt like everything was going and going. That's what we fell in love with vlogs. Like, we fell in, and it made us fall in love with Disney World more because it was an escape, like a happiness to it. You know what I mean? So totally understand. I'm sorry for your guys' losses, but
You
Sorry for yours.
do.
yeah, I mean, it's amazing what content can do. It really is. It's such an escape. And like you said earlier, like, editing's not the most fun thing, but there's times when I just want to sip on a coffee in the morning and sit there and edit, and I'm like, this is like a sanctuary. And you're so hyper focused. You're not thinking about your bills. You're not thinking about your job. You're not thinking about anything except, does this cut look right? Let's see. You know what I mean?
I don't think some people, I don't think understand the therapeutic nature of that too. Because when a lot of people think like, oh, when you had loss, like you just don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have that loss, you want to kind of throw yourself into something to take you out of that painful moment.
Yeah.
To take that depression and to just pour it into something that's going to be constructive at least.
I think that's super important for anyone, even, not experiencing loss, but anxiety, mental health, awareness stuff. Like, find an outlet, anything, because like Sam said, you could fall in that black hole very easily. I was almost there, but it's how you pull yourself out of it. And luckily content's kind of, I think, what we bonded over right now. It kind of got us, pushing forward when we could have just fell back. What YouTubers did you guys watch when you were that inspired you? Who were some of the names?
The trackers were definitely the first.
Tim was so I feel like everyone watched Disney Food Blog in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So because when you're planning a Disney trip, they have the YouTube SEO on.
Yeah, you type in Disney food.
Disney planning,
they're
Disney
gonna come
food.
up.
Yeah, they're the first thing that comes up. What happened with, and I want to go into to Tim and Jen a bit, because Tim and Jen have been very kind to us.
Yeah.
They've been very nice to us when we met them in the parks and stuff. Jen and Sam have spoken a few times. So we watched them to go to Disney. We never watched their home vlogs, right? I would always just watch the Disney stuff because I wasn't like a person who watched vlogs.
Yep.
Then we came home and I didn't want to watch the Disney vlogs because I didn't want to have to spend money to go to Disney again because we weren't Disney people yet. You know what I mean?
Like, I was the same.
Yeah. So I started like, I'll watch his home vlogs. Like, I won't watch his Disney vlogs. And then I began to genuinely appreciate the craft of the daily vlog, or just of just showing your life and your perception of it and displaying it to other people, the story of your life, and like encompassing it into those little like viewpoints and sound bites.
Yeah.
I really became like a beautiful thing to me to see. And then through watching them, we started watching other vlogs, right?
I'm super enthused.
Jackie's awesome.
Yeah. So she's great.
Yeah.
I like Jackie's vlog because it's very stylized, like eclectic.
Yes, I like
positivity. They're all different.
I like the positive. Like I like watching channels that make me. That's why I like Nate so much, LePage and Mr. Mario, because it's like you sit there and there's not a negative thing said the whole time, and you can just kind of escape.
Even if they don't like something, they don't say it in a way that's and that we yearn to do that too. Is like, even if we eat something it's like terrible, or I shouldn't say terrible, but we have like fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, and even if maybe this is, I'll say it sometimes too. Like, if it's something bad, it's bad. But like, if it's, like, maybe this isn't for me, but maybe you'll enjoy it. Like, you try to keep that positive end, because for me, I watch those videos so that way I wanted what I call it soft entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not like a big drama like Game of Thrones.
No, exactly.
Or like an interpersonal battle like you see in a reality show. It's someone who's happy, enjoying their life, and they're an avatar for the experience that they're having. You experiencing it by watching them. Yeah,
we're big tracker fans. We watch all the tracker vlogs now. I think we found Morrow, and then we found All Ears with Molly, and then Molly's in Map. Like, it's just like everything's just, there's so many great vloggers though, and that's like trying to find your niche. So when you found the food, that's amazing. Like you said, Disney Food Blog's going to have the more stylized video. There's no faces on the video. It's this is good, this is good, this is good. I like that style. But me, I want people that I can relate to. I want to see real people eat it with their real reactions. And I think that's where you guys come in with the perfect niche, because you're very honest. And Sam, you're just like Nicole, like shy and like, you know, I could talk to a paper bag. And you're like, yeah, me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking too much right now. I'm actually trying to shut up to let her talk more.
But it's funny because Sam's opinion is like usually like very like direct, like bam, like quick. Like we always crack up sometimes. Like, yeah, it's like a 5. I'm like,
yeah, and I can't hide my emotions either. So like if I don't like something, like it's just gonna be very obvious that I don't like it.
Well, as viewers, we appreciate that, you know. but it is, you don't sit there and you don't trash the food. You just go, nah, it's like a 4 or 5. Like, but it's just funny because we can tell when you don't like it. Like you said, you can't hide it. And Nicole's the same way. There's times I'm editing, I'm like, oh, Nicole's like takes a sip of something, she's like, and I'm like, oh no, do I edit that out? Like, what do I do?
Keep it in.
Go ahead.
Keep it in. You got to keep it in. Just keep a natural reaction.
Yeah. So, what made you decide to focus on the food topic? I know you said Hershey, but like, all right, so you wanted to do the Hershey vlog to kind of start off, but what made you go, all right, like, no rides, none of that. Let's just focus on food and eating. And, you know, obviously you said the ranking system, we know where you got that, but what was like, okay, this is the food, like, let's talk about theme park food and that's it. Was it because of that channel that did all other foods that you were like that, or?
No.
I think we just really like food.
Yeah.
This was something we did before we put a camera on us. Like we would go to Hershey. Hershey's as far as you talk about Northeast amusement parks, they have the best food as far as amusement parks go in the Northeast. I don't think their operations are that great currently. No offense. But their food, if you know where to get the good food, there's good stuff to be found there. I mean, it's Hershey Park. Obviously, they got the chocolate. They're near a chocolate factory. But we used to go to Hershey, and we would eat something, and we would, because we watched Good Mythical Morning and we watched other food YouTubers, we would go 1 out of 10. And we'd be driving home like, what'd you think of this thing? 1 out of 10. What'd you think of that thing? 1 out of 10. And we basically just took what we were already doing and we decided to just put it on us, because we would always make lists of things that we were going to eat. Six Flags Great Adventure is some of the worst food that you could find at any theme park. I had to stop filming there at one point because everything I ate there, unless they had a new vendor or a food truck, was not good.
I'm not a fan of Six Flags.
Yeah.
Like we
live great restaurant.
What was it?
That was near Six Flags that we found.
Oh,
we did so many videos on. Yeah.
Yeah, so one day it was like raining, so we left the park for like this day as a wash, and we stumbled upon this Italian restaurant. I think it's Cream Ridge, New Jersey.
I think so. It's down the road. It's called Nanuzzo Trattoria. Okay. And we did so. I mean, I think it's got 200 views, that video, or something. It's not a lot of views, but it's. And we every time we'd go to Six Flags, we would go we're just going to do Nanuzzo Trattoria at the end, like in the video.
I think we were just going, like we were pretending we were going to Six Flags.
But you were really just going out to dinner.
We wanted to go to this restaurant that was near Six Flags.
I'm not a huge like roller coaster person. Like I just got back into it because my daughter is into them, so I have to be dad and go on roller coasters. But Six Flags always kind of freaked me out. I don't know why, because I don't know. Yeah, like they have some like what is it, Nitro or whatever's there.
I love Nitro, but I think it's a hyper coaster. It's like where you get the airtime and you go up the hill.
Yeah, I can't do. I mean, I probably could now, but like I always explain to something though. Disney thrill rides are way different than real thrill rides. You know what I mean? Like Disney thrill rides I can handle. Like Guardians, probably like top of what I can handle. You know, you see like, but like we grew up in Cape May County, so like the Wildwood Boardwalk. Like we go there and everyone's like, let's go on the rides. And we're like, I don't go on those rides. Like I want to go to Disney World now. Like it spoils you.
Definitely spoils you.
The food, like also like the food, boardwalk food's great. Like funnel cake and pizza and all that. And you guys know all about that. So you guys are now in Florida, right? Yeah. What do you miss most about being home food-wise? And I know it's going to be pizza because that's been the answer about everyone who's moved. But what other things do you miss?
Bagels. egg sandwiches,
Chinese food.
diners.
Diners. There's a cheesecake
Oh,
at the Quorum Diner. I influenced someone to go to the Quorum Diner. They commented. Quorum is like, it's not like it's
not a great area.
I don't want to say it's a great area. So I people live there. But it's a poorer community.
It's not like a travel destination.
Yeah. But there's this diner in Quorum, and I used to go there all the time. It's a good diner, and they had a cheesecake like chef that worked there, telling you probably outside the Musso and Frank cheesecake that's in Hollywood. That's like my second or number one best cheesecake of all time. Really? So good. So if you're near the Quorum Diner, right, just stop and get a cheesecake.
How about you, Sam? What do you miss? I know you said bagels, pizza,
egg sandwiches.
Yeah. Just like bacon, egg, and cheese, or
I
don't know if you call it tail ham. I call it pork roll. Pork roll, egg, and cheese.
Yeah,
people don't know what pork roll is. Some places, which I didn't know was a thing.
I think it's a Jersey thing, the pork roll, right?
Yeah.
So we're Long Island. It's just Beck or bacon, egg, and cheese.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Oh, have you had a pork roll, egg, and cheese? Because it's life changing.
I don't think I have.
That's sausage, egg, and cheese, right?
No, pork roll is Taylor ham.
Oh, Taylor ham. Okay,
but it's the best.
I will have to get it one day when I'm in New Jersey.
You have to come back to New Jersey and get it.
Yes.
Just go to any spot and ask for a pork roll, egg, and cheese. It's life changing. Me, I'm afraid to move because I'm like a cheesesteak guy because we're closer to Philly.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm like, how can I live without a cheesesteak? But the trackers went and found a Philly bar like a couple months ago. We watched their vlog where they found a Philly cheesesteak. But I still don't trust that it's going to be like a Philly cheesesteak, you know?
The thing about the food down here is you can find good pizza. Mm-hmm. You can find good cheesesteaks. Find good like Chinese food. But it's not going to be you driving 15, 20 minutes down the road and having it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like where you are, like you know where to go to get that cheesesteak.
Yep.
You know the drive to get that cheesesteak. Like you know which Chinese spots to go to in New York. I remember two places I lived in New York. 2 houses down the road there was a pizzeria. I would just walk up, get a slice of pizza, walk home. You know that culture doesn't exist here.
Yeah.
You know, like so you got to know the places. Like I'm sure that cheesesteak they got was great, but it's probably going to be a 30-minute, 40-minute drive from wherever you're at, and it's going to be the only place that you're going to be able to get a good cheesesteak.
Didn't think of it like that because like we're talking right now, like we have our favorite wing places like 5 minutes away. We have our favorite sub shop I could walk to right now. Like it's totally different over here than down in Florida. Everything is kind of spread out.
Florida has its things too, like you got the pub subs.
We have Waffle House.
Lots of Waffle Houses everywhere.
There's one next to the big blue Disney store we pass all the time when we're getting dropped off at the resorts. It's just called like the Disney store or something, Disney Toys and Gifts or whatever. And there's a little Waffle House in front of it.
Yes. Yeah. Is that the one with the wizard on it?
I believe so. It's a big blue building. Like huge.
Okay, it might be a different one.
It's
then.
huge and royal blue. Like you can't miss it. And I'm like, how is it called Disney without getting like, cease and desist or copywritten? But so we're talking about at home or like at home food, right? Like you're talking about the bagel shops and all that. In your opinion, what food/restaurant theme could Disney use more of? Should Disney have a Chinese place? Should they, should they fill the void that we're missing? Should they open up a Philly cheesesteak place in Disney Springs,
Oh man, that is a very interesting question.
That's not a bad idea though, cheesesteaks.
Do you want to go first, or because you know me, I'm gonna ramble.
You put me on the spot.
I'll go first.
What about like a diner, like just diner food?
Well, if you go to
the airport, you're gonna say the airport, the Chef Art Smith.
No, Chef Art Smith, I guess, kind of is diner-esque.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I don't think it's diner. I don't think it's that. So if you go to the fountain, that is in the Dolphin, that is technically a 1950s style diner restaurant. It's right outside Rosa Mexicano. Although I don't think it's as good as the Long Island diner.
You mean like I think Sam's talking like a diner, like the diner vibe, the raspy voice waitresses, like that kind of diner, right?
Or 50s Primetime Cafe.
Disco fries.
Kind of a diner, but I guess it's more of mom's house.
But here's the thing, right? the king of the diners has a restaurant in Disney Springs, Guy Fieri. Why don't you have a diner? Like your whole,
and his
your
chicken
whole
ain't been good recently.
No, I like not negative, but like no, I was not a fan. I
We-
go
We used
Chef
to-
Arts
We
all the
used to love
time.
it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
went there recently. The quality of the chicken was just not like it was like chewy. It was, by the way, we just ate Huey Magoo's like right before
This
this.
is not a Disney restaurant.
This isn't a Disney restaurant, but it's close to us. It's a chain restaurant. Best chicken fingers I ever had in my life.
We
So,
tried Raisin Cane's today for the first time.
Oh,
We liked Raising Cane's.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Super expensive, but pretty good. I was
We
shocked.
thought that chicken tenders, like when we had them, so we had them on camera and off camera, two different experiences.
Yeah.
We had them in restaurant on camera, and they were perfect.
It was
the
like
day
right,
they opened.
yeah, it was the day they opened.
They were like tender fall. I was
They
gonna
were
say- yeah.
perfectly crisp. Like
Yeah.
they were amazing.
And-
And then
We had them. We brought them home. We went through the drive-through,
Yeah.
and they were soggy,
Oh.
and they were just decent. So it's again sometimes
It's-
the day that you go.
Yeah, it's consistency. So
Huey
what,
Magoo's is amazing. Though.
what would you put in Disney World? What kind of food besides a diner, Jay?
I liked your idea of like a Chinese restaurant,
Yeah.
But then I also am thinking of the boardwalk. So you know the boardwalk resort.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we just
So they
stayed
have
there.
the boardwalk deli,
Yeah.
right? They need like a bagel shop, and I know they have a pizza window in there. The pizza's pretty solid, but like the deli's supposed to be like their bagel shop, but the bagels just aren't it. Like they need to get like one of those New York water bagel machines
Exactly.
and make, or like the Jersey, like the tri-state bagel, like where you get the whatever minerals are in it. Because there's a lot of places that do that now.
Yeah.
And just I feel like make those big, like kind of like with those, half a pound of cream cheese on them.
Oh yeah, it's just
Bagel.
all cream cheese. No, like
Yes.
you can't. Well, if they can import olive oil, come on, import some good bagels. Like
Yeah, no, or like make them that way. And I liked your idea of a Chinese restaurant because the only place that I guess there's a few. I mean, you
I feel like
have
we don't like the quick service in Epcot that we tried.
the quick service Chinese food in Epcot isn't good. The restaurant is okay. A lot of people trash the restaurant. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Yeah,
But it's not like-
bad.
It's not like I'm going to go there for Chinese food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm at Disney World. There's better options. Morimoto is probably the best Asian cuisine
Yeah, I've heard that. Yes.
in Disney World, but like you have to think that's few and far between. You have Epcot, which is so-so. You have Morimoto, which really isn't Disney. It's
Yeah.
the Iron Chef's restaurant in Disney Spring. It's Asian fusion. I think they could do with definitely a good Chinese restaurant for sure.
Like a little Chinese quick service would be cool.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah.
something like that. I think there's a lot that they could do. But like the boardwalk's based kind of off like Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Why don't you have like more Atlantic City type foods? Like the deli should be like a sub shop with hoagies and
Yes.
like you said, bagels and it's funny. Our big thing is like everyone's like, "Oh, Mickey pretzels are great. Mickey pretzels are great." It's like, have you ever had a Philadelphia pretzel? Because it's totally different. It's like life changing, like a
Yeah.
Philly pretzel. So I'm like, why don't you have like Philly pretzels? Like if you're doing it like Atlantic City, have import the food from Atlantic City because
I think they don't really want that many people going there though. It's hard to park there as is right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we stayed at the boardwalk. We enjoyed it. The only thing which was weird is that they didn't have like, obviously you have your quick services outside. That's weird to me. Like if I wake up
Yeah.
and I'm like half asleep and I want to go get a quick service, I have to go to the boardwalk and into
Yeah,
the,
and like the drink station is like it's very like tiny area, and people are waiting for their food, and like you can't fill up your cup there. It is a strange situation.
we got pixie dusted and got villa. So
that's awesome.
because we had the DVC, we were supposed to have a studio, and they gave us a villa. And I was like, so that changed like the first part of our boardwalk vlog, which will be coming out soon. I'm like, I wouldn't stay here again. You know what I mean? I'm like kind of like negative, and then I'm like, we get in the room, like I would stay here every single day of my life. Like I could live in this room. So
We
it's
were
funny.
told that the boardwalk is Bob Iger's favorite resort by a Disney cast member once.
Really?
That was when we went
at
to Flying Fish.
Yeah.
They said that like this is Bob Iger's favorite restaurant in Disney was Flying Fish, and they said his favorite resort at Disney, like where he wants to say when he goes there, is the boardwalk resort.
If maybe it just feels like, and I said this in the vlog, like it feels too much like home, and it's like if I'm not home, I don't want to be home.
Yeah,
But at the same point, like if the same token, if I lived there like you guys, I would want the food from home there. You
Yeah.
know, I would want the pizza window too. You mentioned it. So we were at the Abergradab bar, right? And the people next to us had this delicious looking pizza from the pizza window. We went earlier in the day and in the vlog, and it's like it has no bend. It was like cardboard. I'm like, people said this pizza's great, and it looked terrible. And then like literally like 2 hours later, we're having a drink, and this kid's eating a slice of pizza. I'm like, that's like the perfect slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get that?
We've had the same deal where we had one. The first time we went there, we were like, "This isn't good. This isn't that." It was basic, and then I think the second time we went there, I saw someone with the slice.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get a slice of that. Like, that looks good. And then I got it. I'm like, this is great. Like, this is good. Like, it was perfectly crispy. It was, good, like a cooking the cheese on top. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not as good as Tri-State pizza.
No. Nope.
But it got the job done. Probably some better pizza in Disney.
But like that was like when we were at the Riviera. I feel like all the food's elevated at the Riviera.
Mm-hmm.
Like even their pizza.
Yeah, their
It's-
fries were good.
It was good. I was like, it's not home, but like tell me if I move to Florida, I have to go to Riviera to get pizza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the best we've had was
Il Molino.
Il Molino and Ravello.
Yeah.
Those are the best
Well,
two
the
places.
Ravello pizza looked really good, and that's what we were going to get as an appetizer. But literally, we went when the hurricane was hitting. I think it was like the week you guys were moving. When that tropical storm was like coming up, and we were about to so we did this vlog. It's pouring rain now, so now we're drenched. I have to dry my shoes, and I'm like, okay, you know how rain is. I'm like, I don't want to go out now. Like, I don't want to have to. Nicole's like, my hair's gonna frizz, the humidity, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, well, we're staying at the Riviera. Let's just go to Topolino's again and call it like we're at the best place for food. We might as well just go there. But I want to try Ravello. So next time, maybe in like November when we go, we'll be trying Ravello because when we go
Let
back,
us know your thoughts. We hope you like it as much as we did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to eat the meatballs. I just won't eat meatballs out. That's just how I am.
Really? They're so good.
I'll have my wife's meatballs or my mother-in-law's meatballs. That's
oh, wow. All right.
He's loyal
I respect
to his
it. I respect it.
Hey, listen, I'm loyal to. I'll try them, right? I try them, but sometimes it's like a high scale.
Listen. If it hits a 5, I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna try it for you.
I understand that you've had probably 100 in our scale before.
Yes. So yeah, I wanted to try Ravello because it does look really good. What would you say is not just the restaurant, right? Because let's take the food out of it because a lot of times you have to. What is the best vibe restaurant in Disney World? Like, where would you go and you could just have a drink? The food might not be knock your socks off, but you would suggest it because you're like, if you want a drink, go hang out here.
Are you talking like a lounge?
No, just like a drink and maybe a dinner, but you don't have to say it's the best dining experience. You could just say it's the best decor, the vibes.
Oh yeah,
California Grill.
California Grill.
And that used to be our number one food wise, but they have gone down.
You've said that in the vlog too, yeah.
I wouldn't say they're theming. I mean, it's they have I think it's Art Deco, their style. But it's just the history, as well as if you got a window seat during the fireworks, like a window seat at California Grill during the fireworks with a glass of champagne, can be the cheapest champagne there. Yeah. It's an experience. I took my sister there. She went with us for her first trip to Disney as an adult. And I was like, you have to go to California Grill. And this is when they still have the full menu. This is when the food was amazing. This was when it was my favorite restaurant there. And it's just that atmosphere at night when the fireworks are going off. I think whoever, created that or that view is just perfect, How
about for you, Sam? California Grill as well?
Yeah, definitely. And to me, they have the best service. We have experience.
We've never eaten there, so.
Service is amazing. The food quality, unfortunately, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's just because we've experienced it at its height, we don't think it's, at least our last 2 experiences there weren't what they were. The portion sizes have gotten smaller. Since they've gone to that prefix menu, they've kept the prefix menu. You used to get decent sized portions when they first did it for the 50th. And I was fine with that. It was still one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. But you've watched their portion sizes go down. You've watched the quality of the cuisine go down. Everything's mass produced now. Yeah. They used to have this giant book of food, and it was all California-based cuisine. California's a melting pot for different flavors and cultures.
Oh, yeah.
So you would have Mexican cuisine, Asian cuisine, sushi, pizza, like all different stuff that you'd be able to find. You know, and 'cause California really is like kind of the culture of the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, emanates out of there because of Hollywood. But yeah, I'm rambling again.
Yeah, that's all right. Sam, what was your go-to at California Grill? Like, what was like your favorite thing that was on there?
I would always get the filet there.
Yeah.
I don't eat seafood, so I feel like filet is just kind of always my go-to.
Yeah.
But the service there though is just we have this one server. His name is Nasser, and he's just an incredible person, right?
Yeah, he was great.
He just
Always ask for Nasser
we
if
went
he's
there on Christmas Eve, and he
Oh,
ended
that's
up being our
awesome.
server, and I was like about to cry because he just
I think he's been there for a long time.
like
too.
their servers are like career servers.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are from Morocco actually, and I think just people from Morocco they're really big on hospitality.
Yeah.
And like he would know how to like plate everything to like I want you to get a good shot of it. I'm gonna pour this on, and they come over, they clean the table up.
I was in a shot of something, and he made them redo it.
Yeah,
like he made them like, no, you got to put it this way so he gets a better shot.
Yeah,
like, you have to do that, man. Like I was just
it's cool.
Yeah. No, it was. I felt
and they make you feel very special. Like if we're celebrating something, they're always with the champagne, confetti. Like they treat you so well there. You take the special elevator to go to the top to eat there. Like it's a really nice
service there and the service at Topolino's is equatable.
Yeah.
I would even put when the food at California Grill is better, I think the service is almost better there.
The Topolino's though too. We just caught the a sunset there, and like we put a bunch of pictures. It is that the vibes there are amazing as well. Bless you. I will say, Narcoossee's might take the cake because you can go out on that little balcony. You could see the castle. We watched Happily Ever After from there. I haven't been at California Grill, so that's a sky view, which would be unreal. But even just like seeing the lake, and then you could see the castle and seeing the fireworks over it. Narcoossee's so far, I think, is my favorite. Topolino's last time after that rainstorm when the sky was like orange, it was like the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. But you're not really looking at anything. Like you could see the skyliners, which is cool. But like, seeing the castle is the magic, in my opinion.
If you eat at California Grill, ask for a window seat of the castle if you can get it.
Yeah.
And if you go during fireworks
They're
time,
pretty accommodating.
they'll play all of Happily Ever After's like music in the restaurant.
Yep.
They dim the lights, and then you just watch it from the window as you're eating your meal.
I do always appreciate that these restaurants, and if people don't know this, they will hold your meal so you can go watch.
Yes.
We went to Topolino's last year, and we actually had a table, and we were eating our bread service, which is amazing. And the server legit came up to us and said, Happily Ever After starts in 10 minutes. I could put your appetizers in now, or you guys can go enjoy the show and come back to your table, and your appetizer will be here as soon as you get back. Literally, we went and watched the show. As soon as we got back, the appetizer came out like a minute later onto our and I was like, this was unbelievable. You know what I mean? And Narcoossee's was the same thing. They piped the music into Narcoossee's. Topolino's, I think you see Epcot.
Yeah,
you don't
you
hear anything. It's just fireworks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you want the experience, Narcoossee's or California Grill is probably the best. I want to try California Grill, but I'm scared to because we had a chance to get it, and then I remember you guys saying that it fell from grace for you guys a little bit, and then I've read reviews where it's like not the same. So I still want to give it a try for the vibes, but I think that the prefix menu getting smaller. They kind of did that at Topolino's breakfast too, though, right? You used to be.
We have never had Topolino's breakfast.
This reservation eludes us. We can never get it where it works out with our schedule.
We've gotten it like before, but it just doesn't work with our schedule. I think we even booked it one day, and like something happened, and we were able to go.
I ordered 4 entrees, and like 2 weeks after we left there, it had to be like a year and a half ago. They cut it down. You could only get 2 now. But it used to be like all you care to enjoy.
Entrees, right?
Yep, all you care to enjoy. And it was dynamite. Like everything. Like I think Boma's my favorite breakfast spot.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh man, I didn't want to film.
We went there twice on our honeymoon.
Yeah, they have like the Hawaiian style like sauce that you put on top of your ham. Oh my gosh, it was so like good. It was, or was it African? I don't know what it was. I have to go back and watch our vlog, but it was. I was like, I could eat this all the time. So now we're going in November for my daughter's birthday, and I was like, "Where do you want to go?" She's like, "Boma breakfast." I said, "You are on your right path, kid." So, what do you think your guys' first big moment in content creating was? And then, how did you react? Like, what moment were you like, okay, like we're doing this. This is going great. Let's just now. This is what we do. This is our makeup because, like you said, it's time consuming. It takes up a lot of your free time, but you have to really want to do it. So, what point were you like, okay, we're doing this now? Like,
I feel like we always felt very serious about it.
yeah.
And like we set a schedule and Jason was like, we're going to do it 2 videos a
We don't
week.
miss
And
the
we
schedule.
haven't missed a video since.
So we
Like,
always put out a video
Unbelievable.
every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Our channel has existed for 4 years.
Yep.
We have never missed a video release. Now, I will say some videos are more quality than others. Some are easier to produce than others. But we get those 2 videos out at 12 p.m. We've never missed one.
It's unbelievable.
And that's a lot of that's luck because sometimes you get, copyright
we
flags.
had
and
to,
things
we
like that.
actually
I just
left
got
our,
copyright flagged.
Yeah. We lost our camera at Hershey Park. We left our camera.
We had
Lost
4 videos on it.
we would drive 4 hours to
Oh
Hershey Park.
no.
And
We
4 hours
lost,
there, 4 hours
we
back.
lost all our content. We lost our camera, and we came home and we had to scramble. We literally like Amazon primed another camera. Like we did what it took
And
to
we
get a
filmed
video
a
out.
cooking tutorial.
Yeah, we
video,
would film
so we
a
could put
cooking
something
video
on.
at home. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So I
yeah.
feel like we've always taken
it
it. We've always
seriously.
taken it seriously, but I feel like moving to Florida definitely we were like because when you're here, like you have
Yeah.
a lot of competition. Obviously, you have all these amazing creators that have been doing this. Some of them for
Trackers
decades.
have been doing it for a decade.
yeah.
I don't look at it as, I guess, like from the
Well, I think
purposes of
competition,
like,
but
the
like
different
there's-
videos. But I don't think it's competition more so as like there's a variety
So
of
yeah.
creators and you want your variety of this form of entertainment to be able to one stand out and two be like a proper representation of like yourself. And then also I think by virtue of being around all of these very talented creators, you have like a great passion about producing this form of content.
Yeah.
I think it raises the stakes or pushes you to do better.
Yeah.
Like in a matter of just like you become inspired by these other creators and stuff and like seeing them regularly. So that would be my thing. I think I agree with Sam's take on both, but it's from the beginning we were serious, and then the big thing was moving to Florida. When we moved to Florida, we expected our exact words were we're going to give the channel 1 year.
Yeah.
If the channel, if we can't, if we don't see like significant like growth in a year, maybe we'll move to one video
we'll
a week.
scale back a little.
We'll go to
bit.
one because 2 videos a week is rough. With the
I
Sure.
can't imagine.
Yeah. I don't want to say rough as in like it's rough as in like we don't want to do it, but it's like some date nights we know we have to go film a video and we're very tired from work.
Yeah.
Or like, like the corn dog place opens and it's like, oh man, we're at work right now. We got to go there tonight. We got to go film, or else like, because we need to be able to, because really down here, it's kind of like almost theme park journalism where if you're not early with the video,
You're not. Yep.
you're going to get buried in SEO.
Exactly.
So you got to try to, by virtue of just getting something out early, you're going to be able to get a larger audience into what you're creating, or that's how you'll slowly grow over time.
So what's easier now that you're living there, right? You're doing the vlogs 2 a week when you didn't live there and you were traveling. So our shooting schedules, we went for 4 days and we shot 11 vlogs in 4
We
days.
used to do the same thing.
What do you prefer? The 4 days of just total pedal to the metal craziness, or do you like being able to like go, okay, we got to shoot to like have that set schedule? What do you think? I guess there's a benefit to both, probably. You shoot in 4 days, you have 3 weeks, 4 weeks of content, and you don't have to worry about anything. But having that weekly thing is a little bit easier because it's not as much pressure when you're at the park to do stuff.
You want to go first? Yeah.
You always making me go
I'm gonna
first.
ramble. That's why.
I definitely think it's more convenient being here. I like saying like, if say we don't know what to film because it's not a time sensitive period. Like there isn't a festival. Oh, let's go to Disney Springs for dinner. We could just film that. Like I like the convenience of that. But I also liked when we would go on vacation and we would stock film because then we could come home and just worry about regular life and we wouldn't have to be like, oh my gosh, we have to film.
Which we still do. We still stock them. When we go to Disneyland,
when we go to Disneyland,
we will film like 7 to 8 videos if we go there for 1 week.
Yep.
And then what happens is when we come back here, we will only worry about things that we feel may be time sensitive.
Yeah.
So like, if like there's a new restaurant opening at Walt Disney World, we'll rush, we'll get that out. But then our Disneyland videos, we'll just take our time editing, and it's kind of like a break for us.
Yeah.
When we get back from the vacation, and during the vacation too, the filming process is more enjoyable because it's the only thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
And we like filming, we like making the videos, you know. But sometimes it's harder when we're home and when we're working.
Outside interference, yeah.
Yeah, well, we got to go out Friday night, and we've been working all week, and we're both really tired, and we'd rather just go to bed. Once we get there, we love it. Like, and there are points, I do want to stress this as well, where I'm so happy we do the videos because we would have just been laying in bed, but we end up having some of the best nights going to the parks because we had to make content.
Yeah.
And then you have those other nights where you're just really tired, and you kind of, you know, like you are a bit like, I don't want to say you're being disingenuous, but you do kind of like force the video out a bit. But maybe you make a really good video and you're really happy with the video. There's different benefits that you get. And I just think the journey in and of itself is kind of the destination. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's enjoyable.
What's funny too is sometimes like I feel like I just did this Riviera resort vlog, and I'm like, this is maybe one of my better edits that I've done, and it's like the least watched of our last like 12 videos, and I'm like, oh come on, what? Like
the 10 of 10. I hate the 10 of 10.
Yep.
That's always the worst feeling.
Yep. And I'm like, the ones that I didn't like take the crazy time to do the overcuts and the, you know, the B-rolls and all this stuff, they get like 1,000 views. I'm like, okay, this is not balancing, you know.
We did a top 10 cookies video in Walt Disney World, and it took us 3 days to film it, and we put so much work into producing that video, and it tanked. And we thought, oh, this is going to be good because our top 10s usually do good.
Our list videos perform well, no matter what they are, but this one
it just didn't perform for whatever reason.
Yeah, it happens as being a creator.
Yeah, we like the video.
Let's talk to other creators right now. If someone wants to get into content creating, Disney or any other content creating, what advice would you guys give them? Sam, you could start this one.
It's so cliche, but I really do think like just be yourself.
Yep.
I think, and if you do want to be successful, I really stress being consistent, because you're consistent, you're just going to get better. You're consistent, you're just going to grow. The more you put out into the internet, the more more traction you're going to get.
Yeah.
There's videos we filmed that like we weren't even going to film, and then that ends up being the biggest video. But because we were consistent and just put something out, it took off. So just, I think, be yourself, be consistent, and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean into what Sam says and then add on to it. Being consistent with anything is how you get good at something.
Yeah.
You know, anything. If you want to build muscles and, you know, you got to go to the gym 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go to the gym 5 days a week, you're not going to get strong. You want to get strong. If you want to be, you know, for pro wrestling, the best pro wrestlers have had more matches.
Yep.
I mean, like you look at the best pro wrestlers in the world, the guys with 1,000 plus matches, guys that wrestled all around the world, you know, and I'm not saying I don't want to stress doing something to the point where you're burning yourself out. Obviously, if tragedy happens in your life, or if something happens, you know, or, you know, maybe you have a personal conflict, like obviously, you know, your mental health should come first, but there is also a level of like making an excuse. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And those excuses can prevent you from, or I'm tired after work.
Yep.
You know, like, and that you know, actually going back to what you said, our biggest video on our channel is a video we did at Universal Studios Hollywood, where we did a crawl of their like iconic foods there.
Yeah. And
we weren't going to film that video. We went there and we were just like, man, we're tired. We don't feel like filming this. And we filmed it. And we're like, oh yeah, we like kind of like we got, and it ended up being the biggest video on our channel. But if we didn't film it that day, all the subs, anything that we would have gotten off of that. Like, and I'm not saying that's every channel should be like that too. And to add on to what Sam said, be willing to be bad at something, like I said earlier.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're not gonna, like, every 6 months, you're probably gonna look back and go, oh man, that wasn't good. But that means you're getting better. Yeah. Anyone who looks at their stuff from 2 years ago and go, oh, my product is perfect, there's nothing I need to change.
No.
One, maybe it is good, but two, you're also not growing. And part of the process is growth. So maybe you did make something good, but you as a person should change, probably change. And because of that, your content's going to change as well.
Yeah.
So that's my philosophy on it.
I agree with that too, because there's times when I watch a video and I'm like, and it could be good. I could release it last week and I look at it and go, I should have edited that different. I should have put this there. I should have put B-roll here instead of there. But it's just like you're taking these notes, and it's okay to be your own critic. Don't beat yourself down over it.
Yeah.
But get better, because, obviously the internet, you're part of the wrestling community, most toxic community in the world, probably.
Yeah.
Disney is a close, top 5. Star Wars is number 1.
Buddy, you haven't seen wrestling Twitter.
Star Wars and wrestling are probably the worst communities. They'll ask for something and they get it, and then they don't want it as soon as they get it. It's really weird. But I mean, just having that thick skin. But people on the internet will probably, sometimes it can come off as rude. Sometimes I take it and go, you know what, you're right. I could have done that. Criticism isn't always a bad thing. Now, if they word it like a jerk, block them or whatever. But some people are like, hey, I just want to let you know, that camera you used, I love the video, but I found myself getting a little motion sickness because it was bouncing a little bit. So I said, all right, then I have to go buy the DJ Osmo Handheld 3. So I went out and did that, because I don't want my video quality to make people sick, because then they're not going to watch my videos.
There's a way to frame it, and I say this to Sam a lot too. One of the hardest things is because everyone does this a lot. You take criticism personally. It's a natural human inclination to take. And now, don't get me wrong, the majority of critics suck.
Yeah,
they're not they're the majority of the mean comments you get mostly have nothing to do. One person has said my hair was weird or something. That's not a criticism, But if you're we have gotten to, hey, we love your videos, your audio's off.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we've bought literally how many microphones?
There was legitimate concern.
We bought so many microphones. We've had so many audio issues. I feel like it's a Sony thing, but that's beside the point.
I'll tell you, the DJ mics are amazing. These DJ mics are amazing. The only problem is they got me a copy. Well, they didn't get me a strike, but I have to share the monetization with the creator because the Riviera music in the background picked up.
Yeah, that's why I use the mic on the camera, and I'll put it to my voice and I put it to Sam's voice. You don't really see it on camera.
Yeah.
But I try to keep it down, and I'll try to look where the speakers are.
We've gotten the Epcot entrance music flagged on a festival video that we rushed out same day, and it really
killed the video.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a cop. I'm there at the park. It's not like I'm taking their music and dancing to it.
Yeah, whatever AI.
One time there was a princess cavalcade going by in Epcot when we were filming the festival. That was when we first started.
Yeah.
And gotta share that money with Disney. They need that money.
You learn oh no, this is copywritten. Oh no, this jingle. I know this jingle.
I would just cut it and
that's what we do.
So now but the thing is we're at the Riviera and we're explaining the elevated breakfast, right? We're explaining stuff. We're talking. It's not just us showing the food, because I could easily just put music behind that. Do a time lapse thing, the tricks of editing. No, this was we were discussing everything.
Yeah.
We're talking about, look at these eggs. Look at, look how everything's elevated here. Look at this breakfast. It's an open kitchen concept. So we're having a conversation, and you just hear the music faintly in the background. I'm like, thanks, AI. I don't know how you caught that, but you did.
Yeah.
So you guys have been going to the parks for a while now. You've been doing this for 4 years, which you just celebrated your 4-year anniversary. So congratulations on that. You guys are doing amazing. How does it feel being recognized when people come up to you and go, hey, we watch your videos?
How does it feel, Sam?
It's really nice. Yeah. I'm always taken back by it.
Yeah.
It's nice to put. It's also it's nice to put a face to the subscriber.
Yeah.
You put the videos out there, you see they have views, but you don't actually know the people who are watching them. Who are these people? And I feel like everyone I've ever met has been so nice, incredibly kind and complimentary. And I've been watching since Hershey, and I feel like the people that have stuck with us since those videos, I can't believe it, because one, they were terrible, and two, we had a big change in our content going from Hershey and Six Flags to pretty much mostly Disney.
Disney.
We
So-
thought the channel would die here because of how many big creators there were.
And our Disney stuff used to be our worst
Yes.
content when we were in New York.
We would come here, we'd stock film, and then we'd put out Disney videos for like 2 weeks, and they would get like 100 views, 200 views. Listen, if you get 100, 200 views, I'm not downing 100, 200 views.
Yeah.
You know, you should be proud of the work you put out for anyone who's watching, and then even for Jason back then, like, but it's just a matter of like our Hershey content was getting more views.
Yeah.
So by comparison, we were feeling insecure about our Disney content, and then we felt we wanted to move here because we wanted to move here for our own lifestyle, for for our own livelihoods. We wanted to be closer to the parks, and we just felt like in New York there wasn't like a future for us.
Yeah.
So and we wanted we obviously want the channel to grow. We would love to be able to do this, or one of us do it full time or more of it, and that'd be a privilege to do so. But like meeting people and having them like come up to us, the term I always say is it's a privilege.
Yeah.
Because for someone to sit like for us to even, we don't make the channel doesn't even break even at this point. It's, it's a passion project.
Yep.
We make some money off YouTube, but it's, it's not enough to subsidize everything that we're doing. So, but to even have the opportunity to have something that we enjoy creating and we're passionate about, help someone else plan their trip, or they can get some form of enjoyment out of, or we've gotten comments where people said they were like, this is like means a real lot to me. Everything means a real lot, but someone wrote a comment. They said they were going through a hard time and our videos like helped them.
Yep.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've watched like Tim Tracker videos when like my grandfather was dying of cancer, or like that's my mother recently passed, or like her mother had cancer. Like when those things were happening and those places were our escape, and now we're able to provide them to other people. I understand the gravity of that, and I feel very appreciative of it. Even if we are, considerably based off of the size of people around us in the atmosphere of where we're creating a smaller channel, Yeah.
And I don't want you guys to shortchange yourself because you're not a smaller channel, because there's plenty of people like our channel that just started that are, and we take inspiration from you. And it doesn't matter how big the channel is, it's the quality of the channel. And your channel has been quality since we started watching, like with the reviews and just the creating with your spouse. There's something to be said about, a married couple, me and my wife, having a glass of wine, watching another couple, it feels like we're on a double date. If that kind of thing. And that's important. We just got recognized. So obviously, Jay, you probably know, because you're in the wrestling thing, like people will come up to you and recognize you as a wrestler. And when I was in the media, I was in line to meet Roman Reigns, and someone wanted to take a picture with me in the Roman Reigns line. And I was like, wait, this is wrong. Like, you're in line for this guy. Like, I'm just but it just happened to us the first time for our Disney content. And it was like, I had to shut the camera off because like, I haven't had that feeling in a while where someone's like, and Nicole's never had it. And Nicole's social anxiety kind of. So she's like, what do I say? But the guy came up and it's on film. He's like, hey, I love your guys' content. I'm a subscriber. I love it. And I was just
That's
like,
so cool.
wait, was he talking to us? Because usually the people will be like YouTubers or something stupid when they walk by, right? No, this guy actually gave us a compliment. And I'm like, whoa, I had to stop like recording. Because I always say like, it's hard, especially in the Disney community, because there's so many great vloggers, but it's also so many people watching. It's hard to know who's actually watching, to put that face to the name, to remember that there's a person behind that view. Yes. And it's not just a number. Because, like, sometimes I think as creators, we shortchange, like, our impact, even, like you said, on one person. And if you told me, like, my video made one person's day better, I would keep recording forever. Like, that's kind of what you do it for. But it makes us feel better, too, as creators, right?
I agree with that sentence.
I think that's like super important, but never shortchange like yourself as a smaller creator, because for us, like, you're where we want to be. Like,
that's why I said it's
everything
is subjective, because I think for us in particular, because of where we are, we're close to 10,000. We're almost getting there.
Go subscribe, guys. Everybody now.
Thank you. Subscribe to you too. But like we're looking at like. We're next to content creators that have 100,000, 200,000, a million. You know what I mean? Like, like 10, 20, 100 times like what we have. So there's always going to be that sense of, I think, especially when we first started here, when we moved here, it was
We
2,200.
were very intimidated.
Yeah,
when
so
we
it's
started
like,
walking.
you know, like we were nervous. That's another reason
I
why.
think I'm still nervous.
Yeah, where I was so appreciative of Tim and Jen.
Yeah.
Because like Jen, you know, like has complimented us on like our Jen Tracker complimented us on our work before, and it gave us more confidence. I feel like,
Yeah.
right? Because you feel insecure because you're like, I don't like, because you're not as big as these other channels. Like, am I doing something?
Yeah.
There's
You
always
don't
this
have the fancy
insecurity.
equipment either.
Yeah,
You don't do
you don't
it.
have the money
You
for
don't
it.
do
Yeah.
it full time.
Yeah,
You're not on a media list.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You don't get to ride Tiana's 3 months before people. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of
we
stuff.
still
times
haven't
over.
been on Tiana.
I've been trying
really?
that wrong for so long. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's really cool too, because I do feel like, you know, it's like you said, it's not competition. There's a lot of creators that really like.
Yeah.
Rob from Ear Scouts comes to mind. I love Ear Scouts. I think, you know, with his Genie Plus videos, he was unreal, and it helped us book our trip. And I reached out and I had him on Creators Corner. He actually came to the park just to come see us the other day when we were there. Like, out of his way, he's like, I just thought, you know, my friends are here. I'm going to visit them. And like, for me, like, you have like 50,000 subscribers, and like, you're helping me, and you're, you know, always, you know, and Emma from All Ears, like, before I interviewed her, she reached out. She's like, I just checked your channel out. You guys have really cool stuff. Those little moments, like where people who have thousands and thousands and thousands of subs bring you up, it's unforgettable. So like,
It's very nice.
you know,
Yeah.
for the trackers to do that, like, I understand how that is. Especially if Tim even said yo to me, I'd be like, yeah, I mean,
They put us in one of their videos, and
Yeah, it was in
we
their
were
Christmas video.
like,
And Jen's brought us up in her videos
we were
before too.
starstruck that
Like
time.
videos around it, and she just brings up, "Hey, I was watching Theme Park Foodies, or I saw Theme Park Foodies YouTube, this thing," and like a couple of their subs will hop over, and they're always so kind. Like,
yeah.
whenever they have like hopped over and said hi, like they've had like the nicest subscriber base.
They
Yeah.
I have friends, a couple of park hoppers. They do some content too. I
Yeah.
actually know Bill from doing wrestling podcasts. I was on his network, so
nice.
he moved to Florida with his fiance, and they were at 1900 Park Fair, sat next to the trackers, and I guess they started talking, and his wife Danny was explaining one of the pictures, so they put them in the video and said, "Oh,
I
go-"
saw
Yeah.
that.
And I'm
I
like,
saw that.
how cool. Like, you do not have to do that. Like, that is
Yeah.
just a good person being a good person. Like, that's amazing.
And not to kiss their butts more so, but any time we've seen them in the parks,
Mhm.
I've never seen them turn away taking a picture with someone,
Yep.
talking with someone, even when they're with their kids.
Yep.
They will take time, like they'll go with the one person, the next person, and very gracefully too.
Yeah.
Not even bothered by it. Like, they're very, you can tell they're very genuine people.
Well, I mean, anyone who could do like in-home vlog, I always say, like, they're probably the most genuine people, because it's hard, especially with kids, to do a vlog, and it's, you know, balancing kids, and you're trying to shoot the video, and they just, that's why we relate to them too so much. We're watching them. They have 2 young children. They're married. They're talking about married things. Like last year, it was like, we're doing the backyard kitchen and the pool, and, and it was just fun to watch that, because it's like, maybe we should look into getting a pool. But so speaking of spouses, and you know, the ones that you used to have, Jay, that we found out on the show earlier, what's the best part of creating with your spouse?
I think let me.
Oh my God, you're gonna say
no,
Sam?
I'll go first. I'll let you think. For me, it's having something that we both get to work on and that we're both passionate about. It's I think we've called the channel like our baby before.
Yep.
We don't have like Frank is our child.
Frank, who's been amazing this interview. Shout out to Frank.
He actually, well, he was sleeping and he just woke up and he's being pretty quiet.
Shout out to Frank. There he is.
Oh.
The fans requested this. They're gonna be super happy.
Past his bedtime.
But it's something that we both care about and we both get to work on, and I think it's created a greater it's created more depth in our relationship, because we both have something that even if we don't agree on like where the channel should go, one where like a video should go, like we both know our strengths, and we both, I think, add to the content in different ways. Like, we complement each other.
Yep.
And the ability for us to compliment each other gives us a great appreciation for each other in our relationship, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I also just I like that we're getting better together. Like,
Yes.
and I like seeing, like, I do most of the editing and Jason does most of the actual shooting and taking all the B-roll shots. And like I've seen him like just get better and better each video. And I hope you think my editing's gotten
No, her editing is so.
It's so
good.
no,
Yeah.
it's just nice. Like I'm proud to see
Yeah.
him get better, and then just see our channel get better because we both have different strengths.
I used to edit the earlier videos, and now like when I go, because I'll review her edits at the end, because you know, like with an edit, you could see like a piece of B rolls off. There's like a space in between a clip, so like I always watch them through. Like she'll edit it, and she's like, "Hey, just watch it through, make sure everything's right." And I look at them now, and I look at the tracks, and I look at like the spacing of the clips, and I'm like, I can never do this now. In the beginning, I could edit them.
You can.
I mean, it would take me. She does it like our Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party video. She edited that in 2.5 hours, 3 hours, because we go home at night. We don't sleep those nights.
Yeah.
We
You have to get it out.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So for me, that edit would take me like 6 hours, 7 hours. She does in 2.5 because she's just good.
Yep.
Energy drinks.
Oh yeah. What's your preferred energy drink? This is editor question.
Alani cherry slush.
I've never had that.
It's so good.
I'm a Monster Rehab.
I used to
drink the Monster Zeros, the white can.
The Rehab, because it doesn't taste like you're drinking an energy drink, so you're like, this won't hurt my heart at all. You know. So we do have a couple listener questions. Alessandra wants to know what made you guys' decision to uproot New York and move to Florida. You guys mentioned there's nothing there for you. Was it your love of Disney? You just wanted to be in that bubble, or
well, first, because we experienced so much loss, we kind of had nothing holding us back. So that was like a really big factor. Like we could just up and go. And also like New York is very expensive and very cold during the winter. We started getting really sick of shoveling snow, and we did want to we kept taking all our PTO and going to Orlando. And we're like, wouldn't it be nice if we could just live in Orlando and then use our PTO to go other places, because
like
we weren't going other places. We weren't going other places because we kept vacationing at Disney World. So now like we can go on the weekend or after work and do other things.
I would say it was a lot of the loss. Like I lost 2 parental figures. She lost 2 parental figures. And I think when something like that happens in a short period of time, combined with the pandemic, combined with like the job that I had at the time, although I was appreciative of it, I was making a living off of it, I didn't want a future in it. Like we needed a change of scenery. We needed something drastic to change. Like when we moved, we threw away anything that didn't fit in our cars. I owned a Volkswagen Golf, and she owned a Hyundai Sonata. So that's all we had. It was whatever fit in those cars. We threw everything out. Clothes. You know, it was almost like it was being like reborn, like we were baptized. Like I remember the first time that like we came to Florida, we went to Magic Kingdom and it poured on us. And I said, this is Florida baptism. You know, because it was like we were born again, because out of everything that happened, like it was the dog days are over, you know, like it was
new chapter, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. That to me, was the big catalyst for it. It was just a combination of all those things and us needing a change.
That's amazing. I wish I had I could just go. We were looking. It was discussed as a 2-year plan. And then I was like, we just built a brand new house. Like,
oh wow.
I'm like, why? Thank you. I'm like, why are we gonna like? I don't want to like. My fear is now Florida's a little bit more expensive than it was when we were originally looking. My pay would probably get cut because I'm a retail manager a little bit, because you're not going to make what you make in Jersey in Florida because the cost of living or whatever. But the housing market doesn't say the cost of living is the same, because what I bought my house for is only like a rancher there now, and it's like
the prices here are nuts.
So my idea is in a couple of years buy a condo, and then eventually when the kids go to college, move to the condo and move this big house and just get the money for this and just go work at a golf course or something.
Nice.
Work on Main Street at the confectionery. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I think that's like our old age plans when Social Security kicks in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just go hang out on Main Street.
Yeah, or Dollywood, either Disney or Dollywood.
So Nancy says, your vlogs are focused on food, which is great, but I always wondered, what's your favorite Walt Disney World rides?
Ooh, okay.
Haunted Mansion.
That's Nicole's. Yep.
Yeah, I would say Tower of Terror. I like Cosmic Rewind a lot. If I'm allowed to go away from Walt Disney World, I love the Fantasyland dark rides at Disneyland. I love like the
I can't wait to
classic.
ride them. I can't wait.
They just it's their technology is not like the most high tech, but those magic tricks, they work.
Yep.
Like the Imagineers used, and I always love being able to feel like the story's happening around me as I'm moving in those like little carts. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is so great. I would probably say like if I could go to Disneyland, Mr. Toad's, but here, Tower of Terror again, another very immersive type of ride. Cosmic Rewind, just because I love floating in space,
Yeah.
and
Haunted Mansion. You gotta say Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. If you're talking Disneyland, Haunted Mansion also People Mover.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
Oh my gosh, Living with the Land.
Living
I'm
with the
so
Land.
sad I didn't say that.
I can't wait to go to Pirates in Disneyland because Pirates
Pirates in Disneyland.
Pirates is my favorite ride.
Everything at Disneyland.
I love Pirates at Disney World is my favorite. Now Pirates in like Japan that's based off the movie looks unreal.
Oh, I think it's Shanghai.
That's Shanghai.
Yeah.
And then anything they just did in Tokyo Disney Sea or whatever is I can't even imagine
Journey to Center of the Earth over there looks nuts.
Seeing that.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine seeing that. But like I think good picks. Haunted Mansion's definitely just I love that ride. I mean, it's just
classic.
The classic dark rides. Like it's weird that my favorite roller coaster is Everest. I love Everest. I think it doesn't.
I was going to bring Everest up.
It doesn't get enough love. I mean, because the Yeti hasn't worked, but it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But
But
it's easy to get on too.
20 minutes is like the longest I've ever waited, and it's like
If it's long, they have single rider.
Yeah, the single rider.
I really think Everest should get some love. But yeah, I would say Haunted Mansion. I feel like Magic Kingdom has a lot of those more rides. Like when we did the new Lightning Lane, we did it in Magic Kingdom because it has more rides you want to get on. Like that's like I can't imagine spending money to go to Animal Kingdom. No offense to Animal Kingdom, and buying it because like there's 6 rides. If you can't get on the rides, how long are the waits? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is like it doesn't have enough capacity to deal with all those people. The great thing about Disneyland is that Disneyland Park and California Adventure together have more rides than all of Walt Disney World combined. Except if you don't include the water parks. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to message you when we're going out there. So I'm gonna be DMing you guys like, all right, give me your top 10 list right now so we can knock it out. So I'll be DMing you guys.
Great.
So thank you guys for the questions. We have the last part of the interview. It's the Disney quick shot. So it's just whatever first comes to your mind. There is a couple that like stump people. The last question always stumps people for some reason. All right, so best park.
Epcot. At Disney World? Are we saying at Disney World?
I'll give you Disneyland too because we could.
Oh, Disneyland. Disneyland.
You can do Disney World, Disneyland. What's the best?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Disneyland. Disneyland's my favorite.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay. Best restaurant.
Topolino's Terrace.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Yeah, Topolino's.
Best movie.
Best movie?
Yep. Best Disney movie.
Does Empire Strikes Back count?
No, that was before Disney.
Okay, so like it has to be Disney.
Yeah.
Okay. Aladdin.
I was gonna say Aladdin.
Aladdin. Best ride. Which we kind of just did. You did Haunted Mansion. So my favorite and my best ride are different. Favorite ride's Pirates. Best ride's Cosmic Rewind because it's the best ride. Actually, my favorite ride in Orlando is Hagrid's.
Yes.
Love Hagrid's.
Like, Hagrid's amazing, especially at night.
I didn't get to do it at night. We rope dropped it during spring break and still waited 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, if you could do one of the Orlando Informer events and get on at night, it's like a dark ride. It's sick.
Oh, that would be awesome. I can't imagine it because there's so much like high speed and you drop and it's going back.
It's a different experience. It's crazy.
Can't imagine.
Both are great.
This is the one that stumps people. But my answer is always the turkey leg. A thing that you like that most people hate.
Oh, I know this. What do I like that most people hate? I know a lot of things. The thing is I'm having a brain fart right now. What do I like that most people hate? I like a lot of things people hate. I feel like. And I can't think of them right now.
I can't. I can't.
There's no Disney thing that you're like, I love this, and everyone goes, oh.
Oh wait, what about the remember the freeze dried like thing from?
The freeze dried Skittles cake?
No, everyone
Oh,
loved that.
oh.
It was the freeze dried ice cream from Swirls in the Water. Was it Swirls in the Water?
Did you guys like the
That's
pickled
what-
milkshake?
No, we hated the pickle
No, we didn't
milkshake.
Okay,
like-
I didn't either. I liked
Yeah,
it.
not Swirls in the Water. It was a Swirled Showcase. They had like a freeze dried cheesecake with the 2 types of honey on top for the festival.
Yeah.
I feel like we gave that positive reviews, and there were some negative reviews on that.
I'm trying to think of just like a standard thing though that people would know, but I feel like everything I like is pretty
Yeah, that's pretty popular.
popular.
You're a woman of
Popular
taste.
girl thing.
You're a woman of taste. It's just,
I know a lot of. I know there are things that I am an easy to. I just like food. I like
Yeah.
putting things in my mouth. You know, like. But I like
glad
food,
you
so it's
said
like I
that,
just
though.
like food. So
there's-
it's hard because I feel like I like everything. And
that
I'll
was
go
the
to-
Sam face we were talking about in the vlogs that she just gave us live and in living color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard question. I asked Breedlove that question, and it was like 15 minutes before an answer. He was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut this. I'm like, you're good, bro.
What do I like? I know there's something. I almost have to want to message it to you.
Yeah.
I feel like in the middle of the night it's gonna
Come
to
to
me,
me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's why mine's easy. Turkey leg. If you like a turkey leg, everybody hates it. You got
Have
it.
it. I know it. If you it is the Beverly
Oh,
from
You
what's
like
it
the
called?
Beverly?
He
I like
likes
Beverly.
you,
I
and he
like Beverly.
legitimately
I
really-
legitimately go in and I drink Beverly and I enjoy the bitterness of it. It's
That
bitter
is
and
the first person in the history of ever done.
That's a good
Yeah.
one too. 'Cause
I
that's
knew there was
definitely
something,
something everyone. hates.
Everybody hates the Beverly.
That was
Yeah.
a good one, Jen.
yeah, from
That's always like someone's
cool.
like punishment. You have to go drink Beverly.
Yeah.
I can drink a whole thing of
He loves
Beverly.
Beverly.
I want to buy.
No. You need to put this on the we need to see this on the Instagram. Make it. I don't believe you at all. I need to see you drink the whole thing without going.
I will.
We'll do it just for you. We will
Do it.
He always.
I double fist Beverly on the way out that door.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time. Honestly, it means so much to us as small creators to have you guys on. And someone we watch and we enjoy, and someone that we value their opinion. So thank you for taking your time on a Friday night to sit with us and just chat with us. It really does mean the world. So thank you guys so much.
Thanks for talking with us, and we appreciate you. We're very
No,
awesome.
and thank you for giving us the platform to do this. We actually once filmed a Q&A video. We asked for questions and we filmed the video, and we didn't like how it came out, and we never put it out. And it's kind of been like a weird thing for us to talk on a personal level and answer questions. So you broke us out of our shell and
Broke the ice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
I will say, we watch a lot of creators, and you guys seem very genuine, and it goes back to Sam saying, hey, just be you. And I think you guys are you, because the people in the video I watch are the same people I'm chatting to right now. So thank you for letting us into your life and for being legitimate and being genuine, because that's a lost art these days. So I want to thank you for that. Where can everybody find you guys?
So it'd be at Theme Park Foodies or just Theme Park Foodies on YouTube. If you're looking for us on Instagram, a little tougher. It's at _theme park _foodies. And on Twitter, I'm at JA2much, and you're at.
Am I Sammy the Foodie?
You're at Sammy the
I don't even think I
Foodie.
know my
I was gonna
own
let you
Twitter.
say
I
that.
don't even think I know my Twitter
Yeah.
handle.
And also, we have a Facebook page that it's if you guys want to check that out, just Theme Park Foodies on Facebook as well.
Guys, go check them out. I'm telling you, they are the most trusted opinion, at least if you're from the tri-state, 100% the most trusted opinion in Disney World when it comes to food.
Except for Club Cool.
Except for Beverly. We're going to cut that one out. We're not going to even going to mention that, because I can't imagine the comments we're going to get on that. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're liking what you're seeing, please like, comment, subscribe. It would really mean the world to us. And we will see you next time on Creators Corner.